I have always been very concerned about, well, war and nuclear weapons, and the fact that Greenpeace is both green and peace, as the name suggests, meant that it was, in my view, a good organisation to work towards world peace as well as environmental protection. My first role at Greenpeace was actually as Chief Policy Advisor, because I'd previously worked for the government as an environmental advisor. I then decided I wanted to focus much more on climate change, and so I then went to work for Greenpeace, first as Chief Policy Advisor, and then a year later I was made Director of Greenpeace UK. I did argue in the past that nuclear power wasn't necessary and would be a diversion. I may have been right when I started putting that argument in 1989, but it is now necessary, partly because the world, and the UK in particular, has been very slow at developing renewable energy sources, and partly because the climate change problem is now much more urgent than it was when I started working on it. One of the arguments put against nuclear in the UK was that it'll crowd out renewables, that you won't be able to do nuclear and renewables. Well, France actually overtook the UK on renewables. France can be accused of many things, but being anti-nuclear is not one of them. So if it was possible for them to be pro-nuclear and to do better on renewables than the UK, which frankly is not hard, but they were at least moving in the direction of doing both nuclear and renewables. So that was an important part of my thinking. I should stress that I no longer speak for Greenpeace, and they certainly don't agree with much of what I say. But Greenpeace are correct that we can and should massively expand renewables. Wind turbines, solar technology, not in Northern Europe, in my view, but certainly in Southern Europe and California, the Southern United States, Texas, where there's much more sun than there is here in London. But it is going to take a long time for us to be 100% renewables, however well we do. The thing that environmental groups, and I've been guilty of this in the past as much as anyone, the question that they fail to answer is, what do we do in the interim? I would accept that my change of line has been somewhat dramatic, since I had spent many years arguing against nuclear power, and that it was a central part of my own belief. It wasn't only in my job description, it was one of the things I firmly believed was part of being a responsible environmentalist. I'm sure there are some people who regard me as a traitor, and I'm not a religious person, but I think it was like a religious conversion.